everyone, Meteorologist Tuttle here with you, and we have a few tornado warnings that have been issued over the last 10-15 minutes for southeastern Oklahoma. So we're going to go ahead and cover those for a little bit. Now, I will warn you ahead of time, the radar coverage down there is very poor as far as the quality of data. But we'll do what we can do. We'll do our best to try to track what's going on down there, all right? That way you guys are covered in southeast Oklahoma. If you know of any friends or family, make sure you tag them. Make sure you say, hey, watch AT. He's got you covered right now. So there's always a lot of complaints that southeast Oklahoma doesn't get any coverage. And it's kind of a dead man's zone as far as radar data and sometimes TV coverage. So I get it. So we're going to do our best here for tonight to give you a little bit of information that'd be helpful for you. All right, let's see. Let me get what I want to get going on here. Turn this off and this off. Okay. All right, so here we go. This is the radar, which shows that line of storms, squall line, stretching from southern Missouri through northwestern Arkansas, back into eastern and southeastern Oklahoma, all the way back building down into southern Oklahoma around the Ardmore area. Now, these are just a cluster of severe thunderstorm warnings down here. No threat of tornadoes, anything like that. We're focused over here in southeast Oklahoma, so the few counties left over. And this will stretch in some of these storms around just east of Tallahena, near Clayton, and then back out toward Moyers and Weathers. So these will be these little red boxes. So these little red boxes here are polygons. Each one of these polygons has a tornado warning in it. I believe there's 4 different separate boxes. And I was watching actually, I believe it was this one in Clayton. It had a pretty stout tornado signature for a while on radar. We can take a look to see if it still looks that way. If I go back in time. Yeah, so there it was right there. So as it crossed over State Highway 2, just north and west of Tuscaloosa and Clayton, by about 2 miles northwest of Tuscaloosa, let's make it 3 miles, and about 4 miles northeast of Clayton. Intersection would have been County Road 1640, just north of there. Between that and looks like County Road 1630, right along 271. So that was one tornado that we had there tonight. Weathers, that was a few moments ago. Weathers had a little circulation through it, but it's gone now. It's moving to the east of you. If we take a look now, a lot of noise in this particular tornado warning area east of Redden. Let's see, the communities and a lot of the things down here in southeast Oklahoma, other than the smaller towns, there's just a lot of trees and just a lot of land that a lot of these storms go over. So there's not a huge densely populated area of the state, which is good news, but it also makes reference points much more difficult. You know, we're talking about the Bayou Creek and this stream and that stream. For example, this is Buck Creek Stream. All right, this circulation center just rode right over Buck Creek Stream, is now over Caney Creek Road. Getting out in the middle of nowhere, but east of Redden by as the crow flies, looking at about 15 miles. But so you can see over the area of land, it's just a lot of trees down here. And then eventually you get some farmed land like this, which has been plowed or at some point cleared, but there's still nothing on it. There's no homes. There's nothing like that. So we do find ourselves sometimes in southeastern Oklahoma in a lot of those cases, but that's good news. So that was one tornado warning. The one up around Clayton, like I said, that one's kind of dissipated. What's left of it has moved east of Tuscaloosa. There's some brightness in the radar attributes and the velocity data for the receding winds, but nothing in the gate-to-gate variety or anything like that's going to indicate a tronic circulation. Once you head over east there from Whitesboro, north of there, again, I don't see anything other than there was some broad circulation at one point in time. Let me double check and update the wind speeds on this. Yep, still nothing there. Still some strong damaging straight line winds in the eastern fringe of this that's going through northwest Arkansas. But in Oklahoma, those are 3 tornado warnings, and honestly, the best one I saw was about 10 minutes ago when it was north and west of Clayton. The next one is going to be this one down here in the noise in Redden. Oh my goodness, how far away from the radar we are? Let me clear route marker. 80 miles away. It's just, unfortunately, it's just a bad place to be. Let me try a different radar view, because here we're sampling at around 9,000 feet. And I don't think I'm going to find anything better. Believe it or not, there was an issue many moons ago where they originally were going to put a weather radar system to cover this gap down here in southeast Oklahoma. And I forget the exact town, but it was going to cover southeast Oklahoma and northeastern Texas. But then politicians got involved and they moved the radar up here west of Little Rock. And it is helpful up there, don't get me wrong, but it would have been much more helpful down here. We don't have the coverage for tornadic development. But I'm sure, population came into play, density, towns and all that kind of stuff, and money, and it. But if it was a perfect world, we have a radar system down there that covers southeast Oklahoma and the far northern areas of northeastern Texas better than what we do. So what we do is we have a lot of warnings sometimes that don't verify. So you'll get a lot of severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings that may not meet the criteria, which is fine, but it's going to be a protective warning applied. In other words, just in case, because we won't have the data to verify. But we will have sometimes storm spotters or fire departments to kind of help that out, and that does help the warning process. Okay, so let's get on with it. Let's go back to this one, and wow, the circulation, even at 8,000 feet, is really tightened up. Gotten a lot better over this area of farmland. Again, there's no major roadways or anything like that. Probability of a tornado from this vantage point is 40%, but I think, again, that's due to the lack of significant radar coverage. I actually think there's probably a good bit of a tornado on the ground at that point. We don't have any emergency management officials or anything on this one. It hasn't hit any populated areas right now, but that's the one I'm watching. That's north of Moyers, in between there and Weathers. As the crow flies, it will at some point, as it moves into Pushmataha, be north of Findlay, between there and Clayton, about halfway in between. Again, not much out here. So that's one potential tornado. Looks like a new one's been triggered for north of Broken Bow, and these are difficult. The weak circulation center is going to be on 259. Let's see, crossroad of Old Hoochatown Road. Does that really say Hoochatown? That says Hooch-a-town. It's Old Hoochatown Road. Never thought I'd see the hooch on a radar map, but there you go. So that's Old Hoochatown Road in 259. Now, there is probably some history there, because there is southeast Oklahoma is known for its moonshine and what they call hooch. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, so regardless, this is again out in a place where I believe, is there any populated communities? There are a couple of homes, looks like some farm homes out here in this little plotted region. So again, you guys need to be in your shelters for that, around that intersection I just gave you, around Old Hoochtown Road at 259. And that will move to the northeast. We'll be in Arkansas here within the next about 30 minutes. So that's one tornado warning there. The other one here I haven't looked at yet. The Tuscaloosa. Not much left with that one. Broad general rotation with that. Latest potential location, let's see, is going to be along, give me something here, Hanobia Creek Stream. It's a stretch, and my goodness, that is so hard. All right, that's why you kind of say, and it's about 10 miles south of town of Albion, right along the creek. That's about the best you can do with that one. So there's a weak circulation center with that, but then again, there's this one around Hanobia. It actually looks better than that other one, but doesn't have a tornado warning on it. These are very difficult to warn for and even justify. Let's see what's happening back out here to the west. This is the one at one point had some really good mid-level circulation, so it would have my pick as far as actually probably producing a tornado. There for a few scans, and that one's kind of vaporized. Last two scans, I don't see much left of it. Check spectrum width. No. Let me check another product. Interesting. Let me look at something. Alright, where are we? So I thought for a minute we might have had a debris signature. There is a low cross correlation coefficient, but it was only for one scan. I guess it's possible. There wasn't much out here, some trees. So that's what, in other words, that's what would be detected by the radar flying around. But that would have to make it up to 10,000 feet, which would indicate a very stout tornado. This is 8,000 feet, actually. And at that level, it's doubtful. Let me do one more thing here. Let's see. I'm just not going to have the data down there to justify that. So we're back to the old frustration point of what's actually happening down at the surface. So if it was a significant tornado, A, it would last a lot longer than just a couple of volume scans, and then B, that if it was debris, it would be lofted quite a bit higher. Okay, so latest scan here, we'll check them one more time. See if anything jumps out at me. Nope, nope, nope. Back in Arkansas at this point. Let's go back down here. Broken Bow, north of you guys. Even there, struggling to find anything of substance. So there's officially 3 tornado warnings. The first one here, we'll go ahead and read you the information from the Weather Service. So tornado warning for East Central McCurtain County, southeastern Oklahoma until 10:15. Severe storm capable of producing a tornado located 8 miles north of Broken Bow, or about 25 miles west of DeQueen, moving northeast at 40. This is radar indicated rotation, $50 size hail. And they did do another update here on the potential track location. Oh, it's over a lake. That I can tell you. Yeah, so it's over this lake here, north of Broken Bow, and then that's about halfway in the middle of the lake, which will then take it to Vandervoot at some point here in the next 30 minutes or so. Let's see if it gives us a time. It does. So that's looking at approximately 10:11. So about 30 minutes. All right, let's go back up to the other guys. Check those out real quick. Nothing jumping out at me there. All right. There were some other tornado warnings in effect this evening across southern Missouri, a couple there, and then also in northwestern Arkansas, there were a couple there as well. This is probably the first time we had a cluster of warnings here in southeast Oklahoma. And keep in mind that the odds of putting out a tornado warning there is a little higher because of the lack of data. In other words, it's not a confidence warning, it's a uncertainty warning. Because if you can't see below 8,000 feet, you don't know what's going on. So you can look at 8,000 feet up and infer what's going down, or at least getting a good guess and there's enough data to suggest that that potential is there. Therefore, you issue the warning. Because if you do not issue the warning and a tornado happens, it's kind of like, well, why weren't you doing your job? So it makes sense to issue the warning. It's not a bad thing to do. So now we're just down to 2 tornado warnings. The others have expired and or been canceled. I'm going to switch. Hold on. Nah, I was going to switch radar sources. That wouldn't do me any good. I'm on the closest one there is, even though there's a lot of terrain issues and hills that kind of block some of the beam and all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. We have to work with it, right? A lot of lightning still associated with this. So all these little pluses you see on the map indicate lightning strikes. And in the past, there was still some pretty good sized hail with some of these. McAllister saw a little over an inch. Stonewall, golf ball size hail just west of you, ate about an inch. There's a big one here. Emergency Management reported tennis ball size hail, so at Hartshorn. So every now and then you'll get one of these heavy cores that just drop some big hail. Most of them, though, is around an inch to golf ball, which is what we talked about earlier this evening. As you can see, the threat's over for northeast Oklahoma and central Oklahoma. So this is all a far southern Oklahoma on in the southeastern parts of the state, and then continue to go through Arkansas. Dallas-Fort Worth, we had picked it about midnight for your arrival, but it looks like it might come in just a little earlier. We'll see. These guys here are about 45-minute polygons, so yeah, it'll still be about the midnight hour rolling through DFW. I have this one gnat flying around here. He will not leave me alone. I'm serious. There's like no plants in this room, and he's lost, and he's looking for that plant. I just know it. But he's attracted to the bright lights, and he's just in the warm office, and he's just desperate to be in here. I really wish he'd leave. At one point, he was flying like right here. It's like, do this. I'm like, leave me alone. Now my nose is itching too, so I got 2 things going on. All right, stop that. Let's go southern Oklahoma again. Let's see. This is we'll do a storm track. I don't expect it to show much, but we'll see what happens anyway. So it does, surprisingly. It does have a couple of towns that'll pop up. 1017 for Wicks, or it might be Wickies. I believe this is, yeah, it's in Arkansas. I'm not up to date on my Arkansas pronunciation for town names. But Vandervoort is also, or Vandervoort. Wait, Vandervoort, if I did that right, is also in line at 1017. So that's just one that's over the lake, Broken Bow, I believe. Yep. All right, so that takes care of that particular tornado warned storm. This other one up here, that's south of Clayton. Let's see what's up with that. Anything? Nope, no town names. But those are the 2 tornado warnings in the state currently. I don't expect tornado warnings for this stuff in North Texas, nor for the stuff here in southern Oklahoma. The best shear and instability for producing tornadoes was located in southeastern Oklahoma for this evening. So that's where that threat remains. So here in Oklahoma City, There were a few storms around town. They got some hail, especially in the south and west side. Once you kind of exited the city limits, that was probably one of the harder hit areas here locally. Then there's little pockets of hail here and there, just kind of scattered about the state, all up in Tulsa. Tulsa had close call with the tornado warning going right through town, and then a couple of tornado warnings north and east of there. Now, as far as I know, there were no confirmed touchdowns. I didn't see anything officially. I did see a few reports of some funnels, but nothing officially touching down. See how the velocity data looks. If it looks any better or any worse. Still not much to write home about on this one north of Broken Bow. Radar estimating probability of a tornado at 5%. But I think that's still a little low due to limitations of the radar beam. Let's see, what's this guy doing? This could have been one of those QLCS type tornadoes here on the leading edge of the squall line in Pushmataha County. It wasn't warned for if that's the case, and a lot of times these QLCSs you won't get a warning for, especially when they're far out away from the radar. Let's see, Honobia, we had something earlier move from that region, but that's since long gone. And then back out to here, to the west, north of Findlay. Let's see. Track on this one. Still over open farmland. See all these trees? No communities, no homes. It's great. Good place to be. But it also makes it hard to tell you exactly where it is. Other than I can tell you that it's over this square cut of land and trees right here. That's about as best I can tell you. Satellite imaging is great, but when there's no markers, it doesn't help a whole lot. So even though I'm not talking about tornadic potential here in southern Oklahoma, you're still going to have storms. Therefore, you're still going to have some damaging wind in pockets of all this stuff, and you're also going to have some hail. So damaging wind and hail is still the main order of business here in the southern part of the state with any one of these higher end storms. At this time of night, no one's out there playing in it anyway. It's 10 o'clock. Most of you are probably winding down and getting ready for bed. So as these things roll through, as long as you're sleeping in a sturdy structure and away from the windows, you likely won't be bothered. Now, if your car is parked outside, you get some big hail coming down, you'll be bothered. Let me look at winds from that. I will switch radar sources here briefly. And oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh, too late. Gotta wait a minute. Severe weather continues across Missouri, down through Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma, northern Texas. So it's going to be a big line. Standard, typical severe weather for springtime. I got the radar loaded down here. Let's see what it looks like. Looks pretty meaty. There are pockets of wind, especially around Atoka. What is this wind speed? Around 70 miles per hour. This is at 8,000 feet, so again, high up there, but you can assume at least some of these winds will transfer down. So that would be likely some damaging winds in small areas. This is between Tushka and Lane. Best location, Boggy Depot Road and Buffalo Creek Road, south of Highway 3 out of Atoka. As the crow flies, about 6 miles southeast of Atoka. So that's where you're going to have some damaging wind potential there. And really, anywhere you see these little pink highlighted areas are areas where that could occur. Let's see. So as you can see, it's just pockets of damaging wind. It's not widespread, everybody getting it. Just little pockets. I can pull that up. Let's see, let's do this. And we'll...
Moderate mesocell detected.
Just had a report of some rotation over Hanobia. I mentioned Hanobia a few times. We'll go back to that here in a second. So some good hail mixed in with some of this. There's 1.25 inches, half an inch there, half an inch there, 3/4 inch there. Let's do the wind potential. And we're looking at 50, 65, 66, 63, 61, 64, 66. So there you go. A lot of 60 plus mile per hour winds expected within this line. So some damaging wind likely. Some of these little towns and communities. As far as hail is concerned, let's do estimated hail size. Looks like again about 1 inch or so there, and there's a pocket down here of golf ball size, almost 2 inches, getting close to tennis ball size, southwest of Tishomingo, and between there and Medill, 377. So pockets of some hail still, so that was easy to identify. So you can see not the whole line has a large hail, it's just certain areas along the line. Whereas you have more of a wind event with this part of the lines. You saw a lot more 60 plus mile per hour readings. Okay, so back into these guys here. We're on the hail estimate here for this guy north of Antlers. Let's see what else we can find. So what happens is you get to the edge of the radar mode that it's in, and you start losing data because it's gone beyond the length that it's designed to go, and so it tries to then backfill some data that usually ends up kind of looking a little difficult to make heads or tails of. Is to you have to change the mode to go to a different PRF. But being on the outskirts this far out, the radar's really not made to keep giving us data this far out, so it may just be stuck with it. Okay, so let's switch radar views back to one that's closer to this area. I just want to get a look at those southern Oklahoma storms. Is what the purpose of me going to here for. And to check on the hail size and the wind. Okay, so back, where were we? We were looking at Hanobia. That's what we were talking about before. And what was the report? Oh, report of rotation. Got me some rotation. All right, so that, there's no tornado warning or anything like that for that storm, by the way. All right, hey, the way out here, got some data on this one. That's nice. This is for the Broken Bow one. Man, we're shooting up at 21,000 feet. It's way up there. It's upper level rotation. So, storm's spinning, but that's expected. All right, so let me...
Strong mesocell detected.
Let me switch radars again. We'll come over here to the Fort Smith radar. And this one too. Let's go. Come on. Is there a lot of lightning around this site? Yeah, some. With a tree limbs down, power lines down. Okay. So the radar data was a little slow to come in. I thought maybe for a minute it was down, but it was just downloading an older scan, now downloading a newer scan. Whew, close call. All right, so where are we? So any of these little info notches, there's one here, there's a couple here, 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 here. At any point in time, you could look up and see some kind of spinning in the clouds or conversion that's going different directions. And one of these eventually is going to end up being like a little mini QLCS type tornado. Like, for example, this one might be over here southeast of Pickens. And it'll be a transient, it'll be short-lived, and usually weak. But right now, this is as good of a guess as any as far as a potential tornado right now. There's no warning for this, and likely you won't get one for a QLCS-based tornado. But should that be the case, we're looking at west of 260. There's a 259, Highway 259, southwest of Smithville, and between there and Pickens. It's going to be one of these creeks: East Fork, Clover Creek Stream, and Road D 1875 and 53032. Those county roads there is where that particular QLCS type tornado would be located. Movement on that one is to the southeast, like pretty much all of them are. So let me do a track on that one. Let's see if it shows up on this site here. Okay. Bad data, but I know where it is. It's right there. Let's do this. And then we need to do, well, that data's no better. All right. The motion on these has been typically, I believe, still to the east. This one's southeast at 47. Some of these are going different directions. Did that one already lift? Oh, they issued a tornado warning for it. Well, look at that. Time that I was talking about, I was going to track it manually. They just triggered it. I guess that means I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so this is a warning now. Tornado warning in effect for, gosh, let's just see what the warning criteria says. Comes out of Shreveport. Oh, they're the ones that issue these warnings. Okay. National Weather Service in Shreveport has issued a tornado warning for northeastern McCurtain County and southeastern Oklahoma until 10:45. 10 o'clock, severe storm capable of producing a tornado was located 16 miles southwest of Octavia, or 32 miles northeast of DeQueen, moving southeast at 70. Whew, that's a fast mover. Radar indicated tornado. Some of the community paths, we've got Hoochtown, Bethel, Mount Hermon, and Sherwood. So there you go, some information on that one. But of course, as I look at it now, it's not what it was a moment ago. But again, QLCS tornadoes, that's expected. Here 1 minute, gone the next. So by the time a tornado warning is triggered or issued, they can be gone already. This is a prime example. We just watched it happen live. And so you can see how quickly that changes. So if you're a warning forecaster and you're going, okay, let me go find out first off where in the world in the plot of land this is, get a reference point to type in a few buttons, type it up, figure out where it goes, and it's gone. That's difficult. So you have two tornado warned polygons crisscrossing over each other, one for an old cell and then one for a new cell. Let me see something. Which radar is better? Still that one. That would be further away. So there's a radar in Shreveport, but switching to that I don't think is going to give me any benefit. I'll do it here just to see. So this is the very last county of Oklahoma. So it's in McCurtain County, and it won't be long, and this will, what's left of it, be on into Arkansas. Both of these cells. Okay, so that was the new radar that came in. Let me see if the day is any better. Oh. Man. Yeah, when I say no man's land of data, that's it. That's frustrating. Okay. Won't be much longer, and this whole line will be out of Oklahoma. I'd say give it about an hour, 11 o'clock, and that'll be gone. And these storms will be Texas's problem, and Arkansas's problem, and Louisiana's problem. It should be a squall that continues with hail and wind, the primary threats. New tornado warning popped up here for Russellville in Arkansas. Plumerville, Menifee, and Conway all in the next 30 minutes. See if there's anything velocity data that stands out. Yeah, there's a little circulation on the leading edge of that. Nothing overly dramatic. But there. Alright, so if you live there in Arkansas underneath that path, go ahead and be in your shelters for there. Of course, at 10 o'clock at night, you're probably already there. So at that point, you stay away from windows. Kind of a deal. Alright. And stay away from the outer wall of the home. This storm here is the one that was hauling at 70. That's going to put it to Queen at 10:35, Horatio at 10:38, and Locksburg at 10:44. Let me go look at the actual velocity data and see if I can't find anything of value in this. Yeah, I think so. No. It's hidden underneath the range folding. Range folding is this purple area, or the radar tries to splice scans together like a long range and short range scan. And then there's a zone here that doesn't show you much, and we're in that zone, unfortunately. Hopefully we won't stay in that zone. The radar will sometimes automatically pick different PRF combinations and to get rid of this. And then sometimes the weather service operator can just manually override it if they're looking at some area of interest. What's interesting is the algorithm continues the circulation not near the track that the couplet was in. There is the original couplet. This is the original couplet here. And then we're tracking this, and it looks like it may have kind of jotted this direction, but the warning is down here going down this direction. So this still looks like the best leftover spot of it here, which is around, it's over the lake, Johnny Beaver's trail. Just hit over the lake at Johnny Beaver's trail. So that's the second one over Broken Bow. But you can see the track itself is actually here as far as the line. So it's actually up in this region. But then that's why you have a larger polygon, because sometimes these things don't perfectly behave. So if you're in a polygon for a tornado warning, you want to seek shelter, and this is a prime example as to why. This one here that was over Broken Bow a while back, I can't find anything left of it. It's either it's hidden in here in the range folding or it's long gone. So it's just this one really. We'll see if anything comes of it. Check out this other one in Conway again here real quick. So Morrilton, it kind of fell apart. Plumberville. You guys are still in the path of this tornado warning. Radar does not indicate anything too impressive at this time. That's the way these things have been all night. That's totally fine with me though. Oh, let's see. A couple things of interest. Nope. I was going to say maybe something up here in Arkansas again. Nah. And then back down here in the far southeast Oklahoma we go. Last county. Nope, not much there either. So we'll watch this couple more minutes and then we'll probably let that go. So you guys watching Dallas are probably like, all right, so what are we going to get? Right? It's the $1 million question. Or you're going to get this line of storms rolling through. Hey, look at that. Little interference pattern. Which normally would be... Sometimes you can get spikes from hail shafts, but that's pretty far away. And the pattern went away. Interesting. Usually it's from another electromagnetic interference source. See, I got nothing here. Oh, good. They switched the radar scans. See, it pushed that purple shading from here, which was blocking all of our data, down just a little bit. So they either manually did it or the radar itself got wise and did it. So we're looking at the circulation, what's left of it in this area right here, just now exiting the lake. The last one over here is pretty much gone. Let's see here.
Strong mesocell detected.
Let's see, again, there's no roadways out here. Just on the east side of the lake. Any roads showing up? There's 240/20, 2000. Some of these roads I've never clicked on in my entire life. 23/850. I mean, there's not even a north-south or anything. All right, that's some of the closest roads that this circulation will approach once it finishes getting east of the lake, which will happen here shortly. Let's go down here and check out Dallas-Fort Worth. Alright, so you guys have a few cells, not a solid line, they're still broken in nature. They still look like kind of a multi-cell garbage hybrid. So they're not super cellular. There's some good storms out there. Breckenridge, golf ball size hail. And there's still some up around Jacksboro, Gainesville. These are all moving to the south-southeast. And each of these probably have hail at least up to about 1 inch in diameter. It's probably the general consensus. And there'll be some up around golf balls. Ooh, there's a big one here. East of Graham, this little purple spot on the map, and up around Jacksboro looks pretty big too, 2 inches there. What about Runaway? 1.5 inches, Runaway Bay, southeast of Bryson. So those are some big hail cores within that cluster of storms. And this one over here heading into Sanger Mall, about 1 inch in diameter. Let's see how the winds look. There's a lot of wind in that one. That looks suspicious though. Take a look. Let's see here. Where's my probe? 77, 73, 75 miles per hour. Factor in storm relative, still up around 65 to 70 miles per hour. That's a big wind maker. Let's see, downdraft potential. So 65 miles per hour coming into Valley View. That's some damaging wind coming right down I-35. Heading up towards Sanger. I said Sanger Mall. That's me thinking Sanger Allied Mall in Oklahoma from a long time ago. That was a brain misfire. It's late. Alright, so that's Valley View coming into Dallas from Gainesville. So some pretty good wind with that one. The other ones are more hail storms, but there's going to be pockets of wind in these too, I bet. Yeah, there's close to 70. Jacksonboro close to 70. So yeah, same deal. Wind and hail. Wind up to golf balls. Every now and then you get a bigger stone, and then winds 60 to 70. So that's what's coming into Dallas-Fort Worth. And And these polygon boxes are about 45 minutes. So that'll put it through 11 o'clock. So between 11 and midnight, these will start to move into the northern sides of Tarrant, Dallas County, and then eventually Rockwall and onward. All right, let's go back over here to our southeast Oklahoma storm in Arkansas. Okay, that tornado warning circulation out here still is pretty low. Oh, I got a new radar. I can look for that one. Do that here in a second. Let's see. Okay, so this signature still the same. They're now over the roads I picked out earlier, like 2300 I think was one of them. 24020, 23,000. Right along what creek is this? Rock Creek Stream. So that potential tornado is located there. Now they have dropped the warning, or it's expired, one or the other, but that's the leftover circulation. They might have some eyeballs on it, and they couldn't confirm it actually touching down, so they may have let it go. But that is where that particular tornado would be. Let's go look at this one here from Little Rock, and we'll investigate this guy coming into Conway from a different angle, and we'll see if that's anything to write home about. Okay, so this one here still broad circulation, outflow dominated. So that's a good thing to see. Obviously, you still take shelter during the tornado warning. Don't ever not do that. But as far as what's on there, these guys just never quit. Already posting the severe weather threat. What is today? Tuesday? A week, 7, 8, 9 days from now. They can't even get it right the day of, and they're going to try to get it right 8, 9 days from now. Why don't you just go ahead and paint the entire state, large hail, tornadoes everywhere, damaging winds everywhere. Tell everybody to freak out. 9 days away. Just do it. Kills me. That's why I can't watch the TV, guys. That's why I'm no longer in that mess. Oof. Alright. So, that particular tornado that we had in southeast Oklahoma, let's see, this radar view has it, looks like crossing over the border. Let's go back to a closer view of that, because that's way up there. Let's get down a little lower. Okay, so that was with that one storm here. So there still is a little bit of upper level rotation with that, but we're talking, good grief, 10,000 feet. So that's nothing. Back to this one here. It's still what's left of it hanging in there. I might actually have two that have developed. Oh, so bad down here on the coverage. Whew. Is this a new one? Let's see. It's too hard to see in this noise. So I was looking down here to see, oops, just around here to see if I can see a new one going. But this is the old one here that's still hanging in there. And officially no tornado warning with it. But just for comparison purposes, should this be a tornado, well, it just went away. There, it's gone. Had that been a tornado, we had an EF1 on the rating, 74% chance based off the wind speeds detected at 5,000 feet, for what it's worth. So that has dissipated. That new scan brought it out. And then the one I was looking at before, well, behold, the next scan comes in and it's still there. So that was a new development. The radar's detected. So same kind of ideal here. Place, let's see, place marker. So we're looking at an EF1, 71% chance. So this particular case could be another QLCS type tornado down here on the southern fringe. And this is Road 2000, and did I just see a highway in there? Nope, Union Valley Trail. That is the intersection of that developing tornado. You get no official warning from that, but that is a location based off of Doppler radar, which is about all you're going to get. The other warning looks like they've reissued for this one. For that mid-level circulation, we were tracking it, good grief, several thousand feet up. So they're going to keep it going. It's possible. Let me see if they said anything about storm spotters. Tornado warning for southern Polk County, western Arkansas until 11. Storm capable of producing a tornado located near Grannis, or 14 miles north of DeQueen, moving east at 25. Radar indicated rotation. We got Wicks, Cossatot River State Park, and then we have Shady, Hartley, Bog Springs, Grannis, Bard, Springs Recreation, Caney Creek Wilderness, Shady Creek Recreation. Those are some of the locations in the path of this storm. The new scan, whoa, look at that. So the new scan picked up a lot better for that one west of Grannis. So this is that tornado here they just issued that warning for. However, the one I was watching has really increased here, both in strength and intensity. And there's no warning out for that. And there should be. Yeah, there should be a warning out for that one. This is the one that I'd have the warning out for. So there's our potential tornadoes at this point in time that is leaving Oklahoma, is now into Arkansas. Oklahoma is now tornado free, by the way, and we are also almost severe storm free. Give another 10:25. So I said about 11 we should be out of the state. So about 11 o'clock they should be out of the state. So another half hour. Tornado probability 83% for this area we're looking at. Let's see, direction that this one's going is east northeast. So this will pass into Gillum, and just north of Gillum, assuming it still stays on a slightly northward track. Otherwise, it come right into Gillum. And then you have Grannis north of there. It's got its own little circulation center. Man, it's tough to warn for this area, though. That other warning for Little Rock area, that thing's been either canceled or expired. So the only part of the line that has any indication of a tornado is this guy down here. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. Wording on this was east at 25. So let's see something. Oh, I gotta switch the radars to get that one though. Hold on.
Extreme mesocell detected.
So Gillum is the only community that comes up in the next 15 minutes for this particular circulation here, which is hard to see on this map. Come back over to this one. Oh, it just fell apart. Yep, just fell apart. So did the other one, around Grannis. Well, there's not much time for these tornado warnings. By the time something happens, a warning's issued, they're already dying out and gone. It's a good thing, though. All right, so that's the deal. These things are in Arkansas now at this point, and they're out of Oklahoma. And I've sat here and watched this stuff kind of pop up on radar off and on. Nothing's come out of them that I can see, which is good. Let's hope that's remained the case for the rest of the night. Hail and wind, though, primary issues with all of that. So want to thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I don't know why this thing's giving me fit. It was working just fine earlier. My open captioning thing is a work in progress, apparently. It's always something. Anyway, I'll work out these bugs and stuff and get things going here. Severe weather season isn't over yet. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching tonight. Hope you sleep well, and we'll talk again soon. Good night, everybody.